everybody. First of all, sorry it's been a while for a new video. I've been doing the HackerOne Ambassadors World Cup, so the past 2 weeks or so I've been doing a lot of work into that, trying to contribute to the team and that kind of stuff. So it's been, I think, like 12 or 15 days, somewhere in there in between videos. Hopefully, now that there's a break in the action, the content can pick back up again, and I'm going to try and produce, back on like a normal schedule of trying to get a video out a week and stuff like that. But I wanted to put this video out because one of the biggest things I've noticed going into the competition, and even in the past few weeks with some other people's content and stuff like that, is that a lot of people have different ways of hacking. And I know that a lot of people know about it, and I know a lot of people that watch me also watch people like Nahamsek and the legends like that, and everyone has heard that, Nahamsek quit recon and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to kind of put in my thoughts of it, of like what I think and what I've seen and heard from talking to other people, and kind of have a conversation about how to improve at bug bounty by hacking how you hack, and how that looks a little bit different for everybody, and even more like wide scoped than just like, do you do recon or do you not do recon, or do you do automation or do you not do automation? Because those are like the really big two questions that seem to be popping up a lot, but I think it goes a little bit further than that. So we're going to go into that, and it starts with actually picking your scope. That's where I think, as far as like dropping into your niche of what you like hacking, I think that's where it actually starts. So not even just, again, do you do automation, do you do recon, but there's a lot of different scope options, and even more than I have listed here, but these are the ones that came to the top of my head. Is like, there's a lot of people that are like, get 80 to 85% of their bugs, or do 80 to 85% of their testing on mobile platforms. Or there's a lot of incredible IoT and hardware hackers out there, and there's a whole niche of people that only do reverse engineering, binary exploitation, and like game hackers and stuff that are out there that just sit and hack Fortnite all day and do bug bounties that way. So beyond the fact of just, oh, do you do recon, or do you do automation, or this or that, or are you a manual hacker, there's all these other things that I would recommend you go look at if you haven't gone to look at. If you've never peeked down the hardware hacking hood, maybe that's just some hidden passion that you didn't know you've had, that maybe ends up being what you're really best at. Or same thing with mobile, or again, maybe you haven't gone into web and you want to go check out web. So I would actually go look at some of these scopes, and we're going to look into like how do you pick a niche and stuff like that. But I would go look into some of these if you haven't looked into any one of the major ones, like mobile hacking, web, hardware, IoT, game hacking, binary exploitation, stuff like that. I would go look at them all and just see what they're all about. See, some of them have a, bigger barrier to entry than others, obviously, but I would still go look into all of them. So that's kind of where I would start the conversation, is like, what area of bug bounties, what scope of bug bounties do you actually have the most interest in? And then from there, you drop into the deeper dive of like a niche, right? So under each scope, like under mobile, normally there seems to be a lot of people that are like really Android heavy and do a lot of hacking on Android but don't touch iOS that much, or like people who have a whole really nice lab set up and have everything configured to do iOS hacking and kind of hang out in that area. Web is like your basic conversation that everybody has, right? Are you recon heavy? Are you manual heavy? Are you doing automation? Are you not doing automation? Are you really good at niche frameworks or niche bugs would go in here too? Like, are you just an SQL injection expert? Are you a cross-site scripting wizard because you know everything there is to know about JavaScript? Zero-day hunting. Are you a zero-day hunter? Do you like to be the guy that goes and, pulls Docker containers off of public artifactories and repositories and stuff, or tries to find source code to find 0 days and stuff like that? The web ones are kind of talked about, but there's a bunch of different niches in there and different ways people hack. Hardware, again, like, are you an IoT guy? There's car hacking. There's all this different kind of stuff. I actually think there's just a big thing because a security research firm was actually able to break like some of Tesla's hardware, I think, again, pretty recently. So, and I know there are bug bounty programs that do hardware too. I personally don't do any hardware hacking. I've messed around with it at DEF CON and stuff, but I don't do any for like bug bounties and stuff. But there's a lot of really cool people that do it. Same thing with like the reverse engineering and binary exploitation side. Like, maybe you like trying to reverse engineer like browser exploitation stuff, and you're still, trying to go down that road. Or again, I mentioned game hacking. If you're a gamer and you really, really love gaming, there's a whole niche of bug hunters that are on Twitter and have active communities and all this kind of stuff, that their bug hunting for bug bounties is just on games, just on video games. There's like 4 or 5, maybe even more now, big programs whose games are in scope. And if you can hack their games, you get paid. Right? So it's not just like underground, aimbotting in CSGO anymore or anything like that. So if you're a big gamer and you've never peeked into game hacking, like, yes, it may have a bigger barrier to entry than web hacking, but if you've never looked into it and you love playing video games, maybe it's worth a shot. So those kind of niches, once you kind of look around in each, big wide scope like mobile or web or that kind of thing, maybe look down in there and see if any of the little niches inside or any of the other stuff people are doing to kind of like carve a name for themselves or carve an area for their hacking, see if any of those interest you. And then, like I said, the only way how you know how to do them is to try them, right? You just have to, like, if you have interest in mobile hacking, go try it. If you have interest in web hacking, obviously try it. Car hacking, IoT, stuff like that, because there are bugs everywhere. And when I say go try it, there's, a little list here of things you can do, right? So the first thing you can do is, again, go find other hackers that are doing the thing that you're interested in. So if you're interested in car hacking, go Google the internet and, figure out what hackers and what bug bounty hunters and what security research firms and all that kind of stuff are doing car hacking, and read their write-ups and read some of their blog posts and stuff like that. So when I say read, that includes, especially in the world of hacking and bug bounties, there's not always like a library book to open on a lot of stuff, although there is more and more of that. But sometimes reading hacktivity reports, reading blog posts put on by like some of the top companies that do stuff, or the top actual like researchers themselves that do stuff. Read up on it, read up what it's about, read up what skills does it take, where do you have to start, this kind of stuff. And then also hunt down the actual hands-on keyboard resources and practice, right? So you can find CTFs a lot of times, labs, practice kits, again, like hardware hacking. There's like little kits you can get to like help you get started and stuff like that. So, and then once you find those practice resources, you actually have to practice. You have to put hands on keyboard or hands on, whatever it is you're trying to hack, hands on mobile phone, whatever it may be, depending on the niche you're trying to look into, and actually try and break into it, right? And try and hack it. Work through the CTFs. You're going to start at the beginning, or maybe not at the beginning, depending on where your, expertise level is, but actually work with it. And then when you get to a certain point, like, there's only one thing to do, and that's to do what everyone else did in bug bounties in that certain niche, and that's just to jump in to the deep end and go. Get active in your communities, get active on Discord channels, get active on forums, Slack channels, whatever it may be, with other members of the community that are doing the thing that you want to do, right? So if you want to start game hacking, find the other game hackers, don't spam their DMs and say, teach me, teach me, teach me. Ask actual questions, do the research, do the practice. And if you have a question and you bring these type of people or go into these type of channels and ask a question that shows that you actually put an effort and you're just stumped on something, people are way more willing to give you a nudge and help you out in this kind of thing. If you show that, like, hey, I'm putting an effort here, but like this thing just kind of has me stumped and I just kind of want to save time and get the answer instead of banging my head on a brick wall for a second. A lot of people will normally get up on that. Again, that's why a lot of the videos that I do on this channel are automation. I really like automation and recon. There's 8 people already doing it that are huge on, every platform, that a lot of people know their names. You'll hear a lot of people out there say, don't waste your time with automation because it's a big competitive field and all that kind of stuff. Like, I that doesn't bother me because it's what I like to do. I like to find all the very like hidden domains and shadow IT and find the hidden endpoints and the hidden ports and scan the internet and do all that stuff. Like, that stuff is interesting to me because I like building the software to do it. I have the coding and development background, so I like to combine those two things. But again, I've looked into game hacking too because I'm a big gamer. So maybe at some point I'll go down that road and, I play around with it from time to time. But if you start doing mobile stuff and Android hacking comes easy to you because it's, just the way your brain works is a little bit better. But I already do a lot of web hacking and I already have a few bounties in web hacking and, mobile hacking, you start all over. Doing what you want will always be better. And just sticking that out there. And you can always do both. I'm just saying the whole point of this video is a lot of hackers have a lot of success because they grab into one area that they either A, enjoy, B, are really good at, or C, all the above. and dig into it. So that's what I'd like to encourage you guys to do going forward. You don't have to do what everyone else says. If someone else puts their methodology out there, it's not the only methodology. Pick your own. You don't like doing recon? Great. You don't like touching a mobile app? Great. You really want to just hack video games all day? Great. You want to dig into binary exploitation and do that all day? Great. That's the beauty of the way bug bounties are going, that there's wider and wider scopes and more things to hack for money. So find where you fit in and go for it. But that's all I got for today. See ya.